And the cornhole dude invites the red lane and the blue lane to bring it. And who happens to be in that red lane and who happens to be in that blue lane? None other than Isaac Hurt. Running out of the red lane is the lower seed, number 9, or the number 13 seed, Craig Ervin, the number 9 seed, who we saw just dispatch the hottest guy on the planet this week.
Yeah.
And that would be one Mr. Bob Heil. And joining us here in the booth for this one, a guy who has been scouting all of the talent out and about all week,
nice
weekend,
airmail.
but throughout the course of the day today, too. Rich Pyle, the host of Whole Nation, and boy, look at these two. They're firing on all cylinders right
off the bat.
You got to love it. But, man, you have you and Tracy, executive producers and host of Whole Nation and so much more we're going to talk about here through the course of the match between these guys. But what a day is planned tomorrow, too. We got this game zone fired up. This is going to be a lot of fun. It's a little added something to center court.
Yeah, bringing a little bit more game to the game, right?
Absolutely. No reason not to.
Because you're a gamer? There you go. Perfect.
Well, and as these guys, just kind of, well, I would say feel each other out, but they know each other's games perfectly. And we're going to see a lot of this, a lot of power and a lot of finesse. But, that might be the
that low blocker get him every time.
That was the fin part of the finesse
there you
right
go.
there.
Perfect.
The low blocker. But
it worked.
Yeah.
Look, got right into his head.
He got in there, but. Well, I tell you, tomorrow here on center court, there's going to be a lot going on, not just doubles and singles, but talk about this game zone. This is a lot of fun.
Right, so it's going to be something that we're starting off new here. It's the ACO game zone, and we got a number of different games that we're playing tomorrow. There's going to be a mini bag long toss challenge.
Nice.
So it's the mini bags, the mini boards at 27 feet. It is way harder than it sounds. I'm telling you, we tested it out earlier. Super hard. I did make one. I'm going to tell you right now. I did make one. I'm the only person in the whole place that made one. I was also the only person in the whole place that threw one. So, no, we had some guys over there trying it out. We wanted to test it out. We never tested it out before. We knew that it was going to be a good challenge, but we never got a chance to test it. So we tested it today, and it was hard.
Boy, it just sat up top.
So we're gonna have the mini bag long toss. We're gonna have the Hampton Farms. The
big blindfold
challenge, which is going to be awesome as well. We also have the
you got the shoot
the shoot it 2 challenge, and the last one we're going to do is the drummer boy. So the drummer boy. So it's going to be a down and back. There's going to be 2 people challenging each other. You have to throw the first bag with your right hand, the second bag with your left hand, back and forth and back and forth. And now let me tell you. We've done this a number of different times. It is so screwy how if you throw good with your right hand and then you try to go through with your left hand, when you go back to your right hand, it screws everything up. You can't throw anymore. So we're going to have that challenge as well. And that's going to be open to everybody that wants to play. Everybody that comes to the event is open and has the ability to compete and play in these in all of these challenges. And there's a number of different things going on here, too. We have
wow, what a shot.
This kid kills me. That was a great shot.
I hate that kid.
Oh, there it is. There it was. It was just
I take that back, so I know when y'all go back and listen to it, I'm only kidding. I do not hate that kid. That was a hell of a shot, though, man.
And the king steps down. He says, "Don't applaud that."
And the hard thing to remember here when you're watching Isaac play is he's still a kid.
Yeah.
He is still a kid.
And I tell you, it's funny, too, because we talked about it. We'll get back to the game zone here in just a moment. But, he's a kid who this time last year we were being told was spending more time with video games and really wasn't working as much on his cornhole game. And then all of a sudden it just caught fire.
Yeah, he's been on fire, man.
He's not only winning the juniors, but he's winning singles, doubles.
He's making shot after shot in this game so far.
Oh, wow. Nice bag right there, too, up and over. And to clean that up, he's going to step all the way out and just come in low.
Cut around it. That's still That's still hanging on the edge, though. He might
Craig
have
going to
to
come push hard. Oh, he tried. He
Ooh,
lost
that's
one off the
3 more for
backside.
Isaac.
But you know, it's interesting too because his game just came up out of nowhere to the point where we've sat and just wondered how long it was going to be before Caleb became the king of cornhole, and now we're wondering who's going to be the first in that family to become king, and how many crowns will they win? As we see a potential king standing next to the current king, and showing him the what for here, 6-on-2.
Man, that's just those hard low shots that he shoots.
He does.
It's amazing, and they're always accurate.
Well, you know, when you're throwing that kind of shot, it has to be accurate.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to bounce and jerk way off the board.
Well, he also has a lower center of gravity, and he is lower to the ground than most everybody here, male or female. So he's got that advantage. Oh,
and the M1.
Oh, he gets the airmail and puts Craig off the backside.
He's just putting a clinic on here.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I'm going to say that he just made that shot. Listen to this. When they were just playing around a minute ago, he asked Craig, do you want me to try this shot? And Craig says, the only thing I want you to do is not embarrass me in front of my friends. And right now, he's embarrassing Craig in front of his friends.
Well, I'll tell you what, and the sportsmanship being shown all day on center court has been fantastic. Yeah. We've seen some great games. We've seen some just beat downs on center court today, too. But when all is said and done, it's a great airmail right there, and that's one you expect to see. It's really nicely done.
And look at that. He's down the center every time with that shot.
You know what irritates me about that? He put that up there and goes, now you're going to put my bags in. I'm so good, I'm going to make you put my bags in.
Well, I've talked to him before about his games and his strategy. He always says he doesn't want to throw the air or the blocker up there unless he knows that his game is dead on, right? And if you notice during this game, he's throwing the blockers.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he uses it as defense in the first 2 throws, and then it becomes an offensive weapon that he knows he can push in for points on the second 2 throws. It's pretty amazing.
But you know that when he's throwing that blocker, he's feeling good about his game.
Oh, yeah. And Craig has gotten off a little bit after a pretty good beatdown of Bob Howe in the last match.
Oh.
Here comes that fast bag.
Boy,
God, he don't miss that.
He just does not.
And that's 5.
I interviewed him earlier about when he'd won juniors, and asked him about his technique with the push shot compared to what Caleb had told us about his push shot. And Caleb always said that when he goes with the push shot, he puts more rotation on the bag, helps the bag go straighter to push that bag in front of it in. And Isaac goes, no, I'm way better at the push shot than he does. That's not the way to do it.
Not how to do it.
Oh, and Craig caught a break right there.
Oh, look
there
at
it
that.
is.
Now he's just gonna rub it in a little bit.
Yeah, they both got one off the back.
Blowing hard. He's gonna try to even it up. Look at that.
Ooh, that's a great shot.
Very nicely done.
And he's making him think.
Yeah.
He's talking about back to your fun zone a little bit, man. We had that long toss going on. I think it was at Branson.
Wow.
People were having a good time, man.
People really have asked me as soon as I came into the parking lot this morning. I hadn't even come into the building yet, and people are stopping me in the parking lot. Hey, what kind of games are we playing? What kind of challenges are we doing this time?
Well,
so I'm glad.
And you know we're serious about the fun on this time because now this thing's got a logo.
Oh, yeah.
It does. It's a pretty cool logo.
It is a pretty cool logo. I'm jealous. I'm like looking at this taco logo. I'm like, I thought this was a cool logo. And I'm like, God, this Game Zone logo kicks ass.
Yeah.
But thanks to our friends
Is there a T-shirt coming?
at Hampton Farms. Yeah, appreciate it.
4XLT, man.
Hampton Farms being a
to
part of
pre-order
it.
Huh? You feel you're going to have to pre-order one. Yeah.
Oh,
there's the roll.
That's unbelievable. That's just a cartwheel shot right there. Up and over. Bam. Oh, and he thought he was going to take one in there with him, but
Think he's going to push this, or you think
Hey,
he's going
look
to
at
try to
his
roll over
slick
top
side.
of it again?
he's going to do it again. Just roll
Nope,
it
he's
up.
pushing it.
Well, curious in that
I thought he might try the roll again. He's
thought
got
he
another
did too.
bag left.
take that middle.
He'll give up a
Take
point.
that middle. And there it is. All right. Taters exchanged. Score updated. 14-7. The lead is now halved, and they work their way to 21. So lucky seven's on the board. But so we'll have some of this on center court. We'll have some
All
of
of
this featured on Whole Nation. We're going to have, well, I mean, as far as streaming and everything else,
Yes,
so all
so
of it's going to be there
all
for
of it's gonna
everybody to
be
check
live.
out
Yep.
tomorrow, which will be a lot of fun. And
We're looking for. There's a lot of prizes, a lot of money that's going to be given out for each one of these events, and they're all given to us by the different sponsors.
Yeah.
We have RNS Boards with the Shoot It, who's sponsoring that, and the cash. We have Big Shots Cornhole, who's sponsoring bags and money. So it's good to see that all these guys are jumping on board with these game challenges.
Yeah, and talk about that Shoot It, just for those who haven't seen it. We did it in West Virginia. It was the first time I had seen it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's a great. I mean, Cody Rogers from RNS Board, he always comes up with some great inventive products for the game of cornhole. He's the first one that came out with that Sacrilax.
Yeah.
So he's always coming up with different stuff. And these Shoot It tubes, everybody knows what the tubes,
The
airmail
PVC
challenge.
pipe that
Well,
people are putting
most
on.
of them they're PVC pipe, but Cody's actually having these fabricated, and they go in through the every cornhole board is the same, right? And every time that you're going to do an airmail challenge or a shoot challenge, everybody has a cornhole board there, so they mount to every standard cornhole board. They screw in from the bottom in seconds, and there's no flex to them. Like all of the PVC pipes, there's flex to them. They're on a tiny little board. There's no weight to it. So if you hit the back edge, it flops backwards, or if you hit the front edge, it flops forwards. And those things are known to cut the bags too, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he's rounded all the edges off. They mount onto the board. You put the legs in. There's no movement at all. And he's done a great job of putting these things together.
And if I'm not mistaken, how many people do you think threw at this shoot? I mean, it's up. You have to get it in. I mean, it's very much like a beer pong with one bag and one cup.
Yes.
We had, how many people do you think tried in West
200
Virginia? And
maybe?
how many made it?
Know how many. Yeah, one person out of all the people that made it.
Yeah.
It was a woman.
It was a woman.
And it wasn't.
What is this, the 1930s?
I just said she stepped up. She was about 2 people in front of me and nailed that joker.
And the funny thing is, all these pros that we have tried it too, and none of them hit it.
No.
And you get one bag. That's it. One
This
shot.
woman was not a pro or anything.
No.
She was just one of the players.
Yeah.
Which I love that aspect
do.
of it.
Yeah, we do too. We always love new players on the court.
Well, we had a great opportunity today. And if you get a chance, please go back and check out the women's final. Carol Wozniak out of Elkhart, Indiana, here just locally.
Great interview. If you
Great
needed
interview.
somebody, she is a great interview.
McKenna Ballou, she took her down, and she was elated.
Nice.
Her hand was shaking afterward and during the game as well. Yeah. She was a lot of fun. So that's a great opportunity for this game zone to really take off and so much mass appeal. What a great cleanup there.
If I tell you again, I hate that kid. I'll tell you that.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Don't hate the player.
Hate the game.
Just hate the game.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. 20-7 right now is a pretty hateful game right there up against the King Craig Ervin, so he's 1 point away.
They're putting it hurt in the finals again.
Mm-hmm. That's why we called this, when you got over here, we were talking about this is the cut and paste portion of the program. Yeah. We just cut and paste hurts, and we put them in the semis, and then we put them in the finals. It just seems that way.
What if it came down to the Keegan Cornhole Championship and it was hurt against hurt?
I do believe we would have to resuscitate one Becky Hurt to begin with.
She'd have to be restrained in a chair, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, we saw those two take the doubles championship out at the Field of Dreams when we were out there for the Corny 40 Classic.
This could be it.
That's it. There it is.
Well, Craig, we'll try to go get that back. He's got that shot.
That's got to be magical. Wow, there it is off the back. So that's going to do it. 21-7 is game one. That's going to be the first of what needs to be a 2 out of 3 to advance to the finals here in the Pro Series. But congratulations to Isaac Hurt, 21-7. He takes game one. They clean up the scoreboard and they move on to game two. I'll have to separate you two. Y'all ready? Whenever you're ready, we'll reset.
We've been going at it for a couple years. I usually get the best of him.
Yeah,
reset?
He always does, if you ask him.
All right, so we're ready to roll. First bag goes to Isaac out of the lower seed lane, since Craig started the first game out of the higher seed blue lane.
He's going to start it off just like he did the last one.
With a little block.
Mm-hmm. Knowing that he can stack them up and then he can rack them up whenever he wants to.
Good bag.
Nicely done there.
He is challenging Craig.
Yeah, he is.
He
really
have to make the
He's
shot.
teasing him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he really.
You know, we've noticed this too about Isaac, the way he plays his game. Rich Pyle joins us in the booth, the host of both Whole Nation and the Game Challenge that you'll see here on Center Court tomorrow. But Rich, we talked about
Craig picked up a penny there with
all
that
kind of stuff flying all over the place and yields one. But we talked about this when Isaac comes in a best 2 or 3 situation. Every single time we've seen him lose game 1, he has come back in game 2 as if to say, "Excuse me, did you forget who I am?"
Yeah.
And then that is it. He breaks the back and he finishes the job.
We actually talked about that in his interview this morning because he did lose the first game, and he said, "I wasn't focused the first game, but after I lost, it was almost like a slap of reality. It made me have to focus." And then he went on to I think win 21-3 or something like that.
There's 4.
Now, I will say the only thing that I don't like about this time of the year, I love the opportunity to travel and be everywhere, but this time of year forces long pants, and so we don't get to see Isaac's full sock game.
You need to make sure he tucks them into his sock, his pants and his sock. That might work.
I think we've seen SpongeBob. I think we've seen
M&M's,
Blow Pops, all sorts of different candy socks, but I think maybe SpongeBob and whatnot. I guess my point is he just enjoys the game. And we talked about that earlier where we thought we might lose him to video games, but he has really dialed it in and seems to be having a great time.
Good shot.
Yeah. And he always finishes, man. It's like we see that 4th bag blues a bunch of times here on Center Court when we're calling these matches, but you never see it from him.
And Craig was fortunate not to have it hit him right there.
That's
He was
right.
able to pick it up and take a 4-on-3 now. Isaac taking game 1, 21-7. And again, Caleb and Gary Bearpaw are in the other semifinal, so we could have a Hurt Locker final as we have had many times.
Jay Boogie said you have fantastic hair, by the way. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all right. We have a
He would recognize that out of anybody. He would be the one who
Hair is
recognizes it.
overrated, too, by the way. I just want to let you know.
Tell your face that.
Yeah, that's right. Not many people can pull this look off. Let's remember that. Oh, and that's a short bag by Craig. He's been having to play those so close to the front of the edge. He's had that happen a couple times.
Well, I actually
Uh-oh.
tablet's gone out there.
Yeah, but that was a 3-point spot.
All right, so we have a dead battery now on the tablet. We're going to swap them out here and allow these guys to continue
I think it's 7-3.
to keep rolling. Yeah, we're 7-on-3. Isaac Hurt holds the lead over Craig Ervin in game 2.
She's going to get a battery pack.
7-3, yeah.
7
He's
on
putting
3.
the score in. We can keep it up. Yeah. Yeah. Frank call out the score. Good job. Good job.
All right,
I didn't want to stop him. I'll tell you right now. I'm serious about the good job.
3 blockers in a row. Let's see what happens.
looks like we're
Tell
just
you right now
building
what's fixing to happen.
building a downbound train right now.
Rethinking it.
Yeah. It's like Tiger Woods trying to stop when
Follow
a fan
through. That was-
takes a picture of him.
I don't know. That was almost a balk.
Ooh, that was not a good attempt. He thought that too long.
But right down the center. How to refocus after that bad bag. 3 for Craig.
You know, I've noticed too much, or quite a bit here too.
7-6.
It looks at it's going to be 7-on-6.
Yep. 3
7
points.
Yeah, 7-on-6 now.
Yeah. I think it was a 10-on-7.
But, you know, I've noticed too, and the entire time these two have been playing, their bags are like hanging out in pairs.
Yeah.
You know, if they're in, they're going in 2 at a time. If they're off to the side, they're 2 at a time.
Seems to happen often, though, that monkey see, monkey do kind of thing.
I thought Craig might try to go through those because they were going anyway.
Oh, no.
Oh, nice shot. He almost pulled it.
Oh, that's okay.
He's asking you a question.
7-6 remains the score here. I'm sorry.
No.
11. Seven to 6 remains the score after that wash.
I believe that was a wash.
Yeah.
All right, so 8-on-2 is what we were looking at right now. We just want to get this tablet replaced.
Seven.
We're going to make sure that we got the right battery, because the key to
Yeah.
this whole thing too is what we want to do is not just make sure the score is right, but also that their stats are right.
Yeah.
Because this has a lot to do with their SPR
And the seedings later on.
everything else. And so at this point, I think moving forward, probably a battery pack on that pad probably is a good idea for the entire tournament. I think that's probably not a terrible idea.
As I see the next two combatants out there warming up.
Yep. All right, so we're working
There we
out
go.
the,
Now they got it. 7-on-6.
We're working out the timeout. Hold, please.
There we go.
Hold
And-
1 second. We're going to make one final adjustment here. Our lead
Oh,
official.
he has to link that into the system. The
He's
computer
got to,
system.
yeah, he wants to make sure that all the points and all the stats go where they're supposed to go.
My man is on top of it.
So
over there,
again,
that's
tell
for
you
sure.
what.
As
Eric
tomorrow, as we
never
get
leaves
back here,
anything undone.
as we get to center court here tomorrow. Yeah, they're being offered snacks from the crowd around center court. That's very nice to sustain them
Yes, yes.
through all of this.
Speaking of snacks, I was over there and ate, I think, about 2 or 3 bags of the Hampton Farms peanuts
did?
while we were
I
watching.
saw
these-
you sitting over there
these
tearing those
last-
things up,
I'll
man.
tell you what, as
You
soon
were
as
over
I'm
there.
done here, I'm going to eat another bag.
seen-
Hey,
I've seen squirrels eat them less haphazardly than you.
I got to ask this
Oh,
question,
there's
though.
a huge mess over there.
Do you
for sure.
peel them out of the shell or do you eat the shell?
No, I don't eat the shell.
Like,
I peel
that's
out the
kind of a
shell.
weird thing, is it
There's a
not?
lot of people that do that. Well, the more that I see or hear about it, it's more that does it. The shells get stuck in my teeth.
Yeah.
The peanuts don't. So,
I just swallow them whole and let the chips fall
well,
where they may.
that's chips,
They fall out later.
chips, so to speak, like
As in
cow
Buffalo.
chips.
Yes.
This show is going downhill all of a sudden. One
It's,
little
just
break.
like those peanuts were.
Bill was asking what happened. We just lost power to one of the tablets there. I think the battery finished out, so we want to make sure that these guys' scores are being recorded properly, and also their stats are being scored properly as well for their SPR, because that's becomes such a big part of so many games. So, as you look through, and you can see, I think Caleb was thrown over a 10, maybe a 10-9.
I can't hear.
So
What's Becky giving us a hard time?
somebody's in trouble. Where all I know is that they're pointing at the two of you, not me. I'm good. Well, about what?
She says somebody said that we were talking about her on the
she
live
must-
feed
Oh,
or something.
If it comes
that's
down
the-
to the two of them in the World Championships,
About restraining you in your
Oh,
seat.
yeah.
That's what it is.
I was just worried about caretaking. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We want to see that sock game is what we want to see. So we're having a little bit of back and forth here now with the Hampton Farms Peanut Gallery.
Peanut Gallery. Yes, exactly.
Now, let me ask you a question now. Who does this affect the most? We got a little break in
Well,
the
I
action.
think right now with Isaac up 21-7 and a game under his belt with that first game, I think right now.
And he's not up 21-7. That's just
No, with the first game, it
Yeah.
was 21-7.
Yeah.
His that was game one. That was his final on game one. So now they're just getting in to make sure that all their stats. And this is a good time just to talk a little bit about this Scoreholio system and the advancements that have been made, not only just to help you keep score and a lot of different bracket play type thing, but now that your ability to really track that gameplay and those individual statistics, everything to bags on the board, to hold out shots, to
bags off.
bags off the board, to just your score per round, your PPR points per round. I think what did we look at earlier? Caleb was throwing a 10-9.
10-9 or something like
Yeah,
that.
he's
That's
throwing a
insane.
10-9, almost an 11.
I'm going to play the devil's advocate on this. I don't know. I know that a lot of people talk about the PPRs and the points, in the stats and keeping the score. Now I understand that for personal gain and things like that, but what I don't like about it is the fact that people are talking about that as if it's almost as important as the
Gospel.
win and loss.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, no, not at all. And that's one thing I always say. Man, I'm okay with a 6 as long as I get 2 points.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you're playing against a guy who does nothing but slide a bag up the middle, and he's not a great airmail game, then a block is the shot to get you more points than he has.
Right.
Yes.
And so that's going to cause you to win
and
the
again,
game,
it's more of a comparative thing for bragging rights, and especially I think people that don't find themselves on center court quite that often, if they can start building, they can see themselves building a little bit of skill. It may not always, to your point, correlate to wins, but it is kind of an interesting comparative thing. I'm not a big stats guy. I'm not a Moneyball guy. I don't like all that, but I do know it's become important to the players, and you hear them talking about, that's how they measure whether or not they're getting better. I think that frame game is a great way to practice, kind of against the
Yes,
world.
for the PPRs,
Just in
exactly
general.
for that.
Yeah.
And you go back to Scornhole, that is very rare that happens. I mean,
That was just
the
a dead
tablet goes out. I mean,
that has nothing to do with that.
very
That has
rare.
everything to do with the battery on the tablet.
This system runs this whole tournament.
Yes.
You start it, and it runs it. Man, how much better can you get?
I do like the idea that it notifies you on where you need to be and when, and it reduces the amount of clutter, and it just speeds up the ability for players to get
Speed up. It speeds it up big time.
And it has sped our game up tremendously.
Yeah. When you're not having to go around a place especially a place as big as these majors are, to find people to put them on a court. I mean, it could take you an hour just to find the next person up in what court they're going to be on. Now with the Scornhole, it tells them, and everybody has their phone on
There's
them.
a 5 spot. Well, and I would tell you too. I mean, they could have renamed it Scornhole. It could have been named Where's Fergie.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely our previous king of cornhole. Finding Gary Ferguson to get him to a court might have been one of our biggest challenges of all time. So as we continue rolling through here, we're looking at 14 on 6. Isaac Hurt continues to maintain that momentum after taking game number 1, 21-7 over Craig Ervin. Craig came in as the number 13 seed after his frame game. He threw I want to say, what did he throw? About a 135, I think it was. 136.
Yep.
And
Nice.
Isaac was clinging on to the bottom.
Again?
He was our number 1 seed in West Virginia, so that's a nice finish right there. He was our number 1 seed in West Virginia, and he was clinging to life both in Panama City Beach and here. He was in here wishing juju on different
He was hanging on like a loose tooth in that last one.
Yes, he was. All right, so these guys take the wash and move down. Craig has stepped up with his first bag here in this frame, and he drips one in there, his Natural Kings.
Natural Kings. Those are some good-looking bags, by the way.
Oh, look at that.
Can you do that shot, Rich?
That's not even a long shot. That was a bounce pass.
I do it left-handed.
That was, that was a
We was talking
little-
about throwing the bag, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I fell asleep there for a minute. Where are we at?
Sorry.
All right, so Craig leaves a
How long
couple
was
off
I
to the
gone?
side. He's going to sacrifice another 4 spot there. So 18 on 6 is where we find ourselves. And Isaac looking to close out this first semifinal. The second semifinal will be his brother Caleb Hurt against Gary Bearpaul, both of whom have been warming up.
Profusely.
Yes, rigorously. Look at that, boy! It just kicked just a little bit right up and over. And there's that airmail shot.
Himself.
There it is. There's another. Oh, he tried that.
Cut shot.
Nice shot.
Oh, and he takes the second bag in there. Nice.
You think you have this kid. Hey, man, I'm going to pick up 4 and pick
That's
up 5.
good stuff. That is good stuff right there. 18 on 8. That's some good shooting right there.
Man, I'm going to tell you, like I said, you think you have 3 or 4 or 5 points on this kid, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a push out of nowhere.
We're picking up that other score pad out here and let them get back to business in hand. First bag out of the hand of Craig Ervin. He leaves one low right. Those will all be cleaned up.
There's a legend in the house.
Now we kicked a little bit to the left there.
Peeking over there. A
Look at
legend.
that, right up and over top. Oh, and speaking of over
man,
top,
that was clean.
It was clean. It just kind of made a whoosh. As it
He's
That
just
looked like a jiu-jitsu move. It just grabbed those bags and put it in a submission hold. And look, we're clean. We're clean.
I used to think
That's
you know,
really
he's,
good. That's
he's making
really
a lot of
something
these
bad.
shots lucky. There's no luck about that.
No,
None.
they know
Absolutely
exactly
not.
what they're doing. Exactly what they're doing.
And he's fun to watch. You know that I was looking forward to that Riley Brewster Isaac match because there were some shots made in that, man.
Well, you know that you're going to watch a lot of fun,
Yeah.
imaginative shots with these young kids.
Yeah. I don't want to grow up and be just like them.
Well, we talked about the fact that, even 2 years ago, you saw so much more reliance on the airmail that you don't have to see now. When you do see it, it's really, really special. But then you see a lot of that. Just a
Yeah, you see that.
bulldozer right through there.
Yeah.
He put a blocker on top
This
of
could,
it.
he could end it right here.
That could be it right there. Up and
that's
over, and
gonna
that's
be
going to
it.
do it. All right. Well, that's going to move it 21-8. So after a 21-7 victory, 21-8, the Snowman posted by Craig Ervin. Isaac Hurt moves into the finals. How many times
We have a hurt.
have we said that, whether it's Isaac or either Hurt? And now this second semifinal is going to match Caleb Hurt, older brother, and perhaps the first king of cornhole out of the family. Who knows? Against Gary Bearpaw, the machine. We'll see how all of this comes together on center court here in just a few moments. Nicely done by the king. Craig Ervin makes his way into the semifinal of the Pro Series. 60-plus pros worked their way towards 16 slots, and he made it down to the Final Four. We're going to take a break. We're going to assess everything going on center court, make some adjustments here, and make sure everything is as it should be for the second semifinal of the ACO South Bend Major. Rich Pyle, thank you for taking the time. The Mississippi Ninja, Philip Barnett, and I will be back here at center court here at, well, I'll tell you what, one of the finest facilities you're going to find in South Bend for a giant cornhole tournament. That would
Absolutely.
be the Century Center right here on the ACO Digital Network.